The long silence. The job came through on a secure channel marked high priority, which usually meant low survival odds if you had any brains in your skull. I didn't, not really. Or maybe I was just bored. I was orbiting a refueling platform over Triton's beard, waiting for some parts I couldn't afford and a payment that wasn't coming. So when EarthGov threw creds at me just to check on a listening post, I figured, why not? Easy pay, no firefights, just one miserable outpost around a dying star. They called it Listening Station Orpheus. Remote, quiet, staffed by 5 operators and a subpar AI, apparently. Last contact was 2 weeks ago. Then, radio silence. No system pings, no telemetry, not even a firmware auto-update. And for EarthGov, that's like leaving a newborn in a bin. I ran diagnostics on the mission brief 3 times to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. Then I set course and fired the engines. The approach wasn't exactly welcoming. The star it orbited, HD 41245-X, which some cheery bastard in a previous century nicknamed the Candle's End, was in its last sputtering phase. A bloated orange sphere, swollen with helium and regret. Everything around it felt tired. Even the stars in this sector seemed to blink slower. Orpheus floated in its orbit like a coffin with antennas. The thing was built decades ago, all clunky modules and patchwork plating. No escort drone, no flashing lights, not even a basic ping on my hailing attempts. I parked the wretched light about 3 clicks off the hull. She looks like she's seen better centuries, I muttered. No response, of course. Laura, the ship's AI, was offline. I'd pulled her core drive after the last incident. Long story. Involved a bottle of rum, some very questionable flight advice, and what was later ruled as intentional arson by a synthetic entity. So this time, I was flying solo, which, in retrospect, might have been a mistake. The docking clamp hissed open with all the enthusiasm of a dying lung. I stepped onto Orpheus wearing a sealed suit. Didn't trust the atmosphere, or the floor, or the job, really. The airlock was clean, too clean, as if someone had spent hours wiping it down with a conscience. My boots clanged onto the grated floor. Cold, thin air, not immediately deadly, but stale enough to make your teeth itch. "Station Orpheus," I called out, voice crackling through the internal comms. "This is independent contractor Solivagus. Respond if you're alive, or recently dead." Silence. The kind of silence that makes your ears feel loud. I pulled out my sidearm. The corridors were dim, but lit. Pale strip lights buzzed overhead like bored insects. Walls were dented, scratched. At first I thought it was old age. Ships like this get bruised over time. But the damage had a pattern. Straight lines, repeated, uniform. Like someone had walked the halls dragging something metallic. More worrying, no blood, no damage to the consoles, no bodies. The place wasn't wrecked. It was evacuated. Neatly. Too neatly. I passed the mess hall, tables still set, food trays untouched, the coffee machine blinking ready like a hopeful Labrador. Creepy, I muttered. The deeper I went, the worse the smell got. Not rot, not death, something sweeter. Office. Like someone had microwaved syrup in a server rack. That's when I found the first room, and the scratching started. It was the monitoring room, the central hub of Orpheus, packed with screens, sensor feeds, diagnostic readouts, all dead now, blank. Except one, a single monitor on the far left, showing a looped external cam feed. The station, the star, the void, and every 5 seconds, a flicker, a shape. At first, I thought it was a glitch, but I've seen a lot of glitches. This was too deliberate. The shape flickered into the feed, stayed, then flickered out. Not a ship, too small, not a drone, too Wrong. I zoomed the feed and froze. It was a human silhouette, standing on the outer hull. No suit, no tether, just standing, looking in. I turned, heart thumping like bad jazz. That's when I heard the scratching again, closer this time, coming from inside the ventilation shaft. I didn't wait to investigate. I backed out, torch and weapon up, moving toward the crew quarters. Maybe they'd barricaded themselves. Maybe I could still salvage this mission and walk away with my skin intact. I turned the corner and stopped dead. There was a message scrawled on the wall, carved in with something sharp. Don't listen. I found the first body in medbay. She was curled in a corner, hands over her ears, eyes wide open and dried that way. No visible wounds, no trauma, just terror. Pure, undiluted terror, burned into every line of her face. The others came after. 3 more, all in similar states. One had stuffed gauze into his ears so deep it tore the drum. Another had clawed his own comms implant out of his skull. And the last? He'd locked himself in the data vault and filled the room with white noise from 50 speaker loops. Didn't help. Still dead. But what stuck with me wasn't the bodies. It was the logs. There was a final entry on the command terminal, time-stamped 1 day before the blackout. Voice log 433-A. We picked up something, a signal, low bandwidth under the noise floor. At first, we thought it was drift from the star's magnetic field, but then it started repeating. Patterns, pulses. It's not natural. We filtered it, thought maybe it was old telemetry, but the more we cleaned it, the more it sounded like speech. But we can't translate it. Every time we run it, we hear something different. Each of us. Not just different languages, different voices. It's like it knows us. One of the techs went catatonic after hearing it on loop. Said it told her secrets she'd never spoken aloud. I'm starting to hear it when I sleep, when I blink. This thing, whatever it is, we shouldn't have heard it. If anyone finds this, don't listen. I backed away slowly from the console. My heart was hammering now, not from fear. I'd felt that before. This was worse. This was recognition. Because I could hear something, faint, tickling the edge of perception. A whisper behind the whisper. Like radio static, learned how to breathe. I slapped the console and purged the logs. No sense dying for curiosity. And that's when the lights went out. Emergency red bathed the corridor like dried blood. I didn't wait. I sprinted, boots slamming metal, pulse climbing. Something was moving in the vents again. I heard a panel fall behind me. Then footsteps. Not running. Stalking. Measured. Steady. I dove into the airlock and slammed the cycle. "Come on!" I hissed. "Come on! Come on! Come on!" The outer door sealed with a gut-shaking thud. Outside the porthole, the shape was there again. Closer now. Its face was blank. Its body shimmered like static, and its mouth was moving. Back aboard the wretched light, I hit full burn. The ship protested, engines whining, but we pulled away from Orpheus in a hard arc, dumping heat and flipping hard into a wide retreat orbit. The station drifted behind, lights flickering like a dying thought. I watched it for a long while, then turned away. Some signals weren't meant to be heard, some silences weren't meant to be broken, and some jobs just aren't worth the pay.
That is the end for this one. Make sure you come back for more, and like and subscribe. See you soon.